me and Arif, right?
Yes.
We essentially we met actually through a connection, and the connection was our friend Rhonda. She was helping out, kind of promoting the socks and all that kind of stuff, and that's actually how I ended up with these
Okay.
amazing socks right here.
I'm glad. I'm glad you started like that, Dan. I just hit this the record clip, and you started by thanking Rhonda, which is gratitude. Brings me to gratitude. I wanted to thank everyone who's contributed to this journey so far, and those of you who subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'm Arif Gilany. He's Dan Barker. We're here to enlighten, here to educate, entertain, and a whole lot of things. But today I'm here to introduce all of you to Mr. Dan Barker. He lives in Bowmanville, Ontario. Dan, welcome, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'm here just to kind of shine a little bit of light on what I'm doing and offer a little bit of motivation, inspiration to anybody that's watching that maybe needs it. Maybe there's some value you can take from it, you can implement in your business, or hey, maybe it sparks an idea, right? So
Absolutely.
we're talking about captured connections today, and other things, but captured connections is my business. It's a business solutions company. We help businesses with various different things that they're going through. So, if you have a problem, we probably have a solution. If it's not us that can help you, it's through a third party. We have somebody within our network that can take care of you, whether it is, it could be printing. Maybe you need a sign, maybe you need a banner. Maybe you need training for staff. Maybe you need somebody to help hire and maybe recruit new sales people, and maybe help you integrate AI into your business. But our bread and butter is our content creation and social media management. But we were just talking about how I kind of came up with the name, and so basically, I have a background in film. I've been filming for over 2 decades. And it started off with music videos, and essentially it built from music videos to doing live events and weddings and corporate videos and all of these different things. And I also did live events myself. So this is where Connect the Dot comes into play. Connect the Dot is our
So let
non-for-profit.
me back up, Dan.
Yeah,
Let me back up,
please.
give you
Yeah.
the proper introduction as we got basically caught in our old previous conversation. But here we are. We are Toronto community. Dan is one of the movers and shakers in the industry. He's been around since the early days of recording, and he has his own journey to share with everyone. It's not really to sell anyone anything. We're not selling anything. We're not sales. We're sales professionals. We're not salesmen. There's a big difference with this, and we're going to talk about all of this. But Dan's expertise comes in as I go around the world trying to promote Canada and Canadianism to the rest of the world. And we have so much talent here at home because of all of the systems that we're part of. We talked about entrepreneurship, Dan. You said you started and registered your first business between age of 15 and 16. Am I
Correct.
remembering correctly?
Yes, sir.
Tell me why that helped you out, and what's made the difference instead of you just going to school, getting a job, and starting at the same time of your education, you also register a business. Let's talk about early days.
Yeah, for sure. I love to talk about the early days because it's always important to stay humble and remember your beginning, right? And for
Yes.
me, I did begin at a very young age, but it was because one, I come from an entrepreneur background of like my family. So, my uncle, my grandfather, they own their own painting business. My uncle, also owned a painting business, but he also owned his own bar. He also used to have like a flea market spot where he would sell absolutely anything that he could get his hands on that was nice and cheap and he could sell and make a profit. So I kind of had the entrepreneur spirit at a young age, being around those kinds of things. But for me, what really did it for me was, having the support of my parents and them kind of helping push me to the light, if you will. And, I just had this entrepreneur mind where I was like, okay, I can create this business and I can make my own money and I don't need to go get a job. Because at 15 and 16, nobody really wants to hire you. And the people that do want to hire you, you're getting these, bottom level jobs, which is fine. Like everyone has to start somewhere. But for me, I decided to kind of make my own stream of income. And for me at the time, what it was in the music industry. So I opened a recording studio. I was shooting videos. I was doing my own live events, and that was from a young age. So we kind of had a big idea of kind of monopolizing the area and shining light on all the local musicians, and so advertising them, marketing them online.
Is
Because at
that
the time,
is
Mhm.
that where the dot idea came from,
So actually,
Dan? What's
this
the dot
came.
idea? Yeah, let's introduce connect the dot.
So
What
Connect the
is
Dot
that?
actually came later, but it's funny because my original business was hip hop GTA. So it was hip hop, it was music based, it was hip hop, but it was hip hop GTA, so Greater Toronto area. And then many years later, it evolved to Connect the Dot, which is something I created with new partners way later. But when I was young, hip hop GTA, because I was more in the Durham region, so I was trying to focus on highlighting all the Durham region people, but at the same time connecting them with Toronto, because Toronto was the only people getting the light at the time. But there was so much just outside of Toronto, right? Um, so that's at the beginning, and that idea ended up flourishing again right in my career. I actually left the music industry, then came back, then created Connected many years
So
later.
let me stop you right there. I
Yeah.
think we lost a little bit of quality video on your end, Dan, but Dan is my guest, and he is in Bowmanville, Ontario, an entrepreneur who started his journey at the age of 15. As many of you know, entrepreneurship is not taught in schools. The schools teach you how to get a job and how to be stuck there for many years. Perhaps you don't even like it, but because you had that education, you're now stuck and you don't know how to make a switch. This is about the switching to different areas of life, and also enlightening on the courage of people who are like Dan, who started really early.
Yeah,
And
and
Dan, you started this business registration, which I recommend to everybody at any age. But again, you started
yeah.
at the age of 15, and then you went into different businesses, see what's working. But you always had a passion for film and for creativity, growing from a small community to becoming an authority in the city and having 4 locations. What was
Right.
your mindset? What did you think about day in, day out? What are you thinking about?
So I think for me, because having a family, right, having kids, even being an entrepreneur all over the years, I always would, here and there, I'd step out to take on a career opportunity because I seen an opportunity that wasn't just, it was something I'd be maybe interested in that could maybe bring in a good amount of money, like whether it's a sales job or some other business opportunity.
Sales, yes. You talked about sales
So
previously.
yeah, exactly. So I think because I had been, when you're an entrepreneur, you're always doing your own sales. You're always selling yourself, and I mean, even in general, you're always selling, right?
Mm,
But for me, because from a young age, I was always trying to come up with an idea, market it, and sell it, right? Whether it's an event, whether I'm selling music videos, whether it's recording time, whatever it might be, it always has sales behind it because you need to make that next paycheck, right? So you're not
yes, sir.
guaranteed a weekly paycheck every 2 weeks. There's no money guaranteed coming in, and I did that for many years, and I was able to feed my family and raise my family off doing that because I just had that hustle behind me. And what happened is during COVID, I was able to then kind of take a step back, dissect my business a little bit, and try to set myself up, future proof myself and for my family. Because what was missing was that the stability of income. I make a lot of money and I had to manage it the right way to make sure that I always had money to make sure I'm able to pay my bills, I'm able to put food on the table, et cetera, put my kids in sports, whatever it might be. However, the the security really wasn't there. So during COVID, I decided to take a step back and kind of take a step into the subscription based model of businesses. And it's something that I now, since COVID, have been preaching, teaching, helping people open all of these things through my coaching program, through mentorship, etc. I've been helping a lot of people step into that world of subscription based model and helping them take their business and turning it into a subscription base one way or another. And so for me, though, that's what happened. So when the content creation and social media management, the coaching programs, and various other offers that I have, it becomes a month to month. It becomes a 1 year subscription. It becomes a minimum 3 month subscription, etc. Now this way I can control some things. I can budget my life a little bit different, budget my business a little bit differently, hire accordingly, fire accordingly, all of
Okay.
these different things.
Before you get too deep and too far, Dan, this is such an interesting topic, and we're going to have to continue this. Right now, we will just talk to 10 minutes. I wanted to get the attention of those people who watch our YouTube channel. This, that Dan is available to directly contact. We're fully transparent here. This is not a sales pitch. He's not selling anything, and I'm not selling anything. We're sharing our experiences based on my referral reward just coming in right now. I don't know how much it is, but I get notifications. Security, we talked about. Missing stability of income, we talked about. And we have solutions for all of this. Friends, this is a conversation that we would like to take across Canada, perhaps even have in person events where we can talk to Dan, where we can meet other movers and shakers. So, Dan, let's go back to your right now, your sales skills that you done that. Then you went into mentorship programs. You also were shut down during COVID-19. Let's go there. How did
So
COVID-19 like impact your business? The person that called when you were on the line was my mentor, Robert Amodi. Before COVID-19, I called him. I said, Robert, what do I do? He said, you're a
mhm.
pretty creative guy. Go do something else, but get out of Canada. So I went, I wrote the book, I expanded my business, and I'm here to call him and thank him for giving me that advice because it gave me a different perspective. What was your take on how many businesses got impacted by COVID-19 in Canada, particularly?
Yeah, in Canada, everybody was impacted. So I was actually at the time I was working with Rogers. I was selling telecom, door to door residential. I was actually just about to open up my own business. I had trained, I had recruited, I had a huge team underneath me. We were doing great. I hit all the marks, all the benchmarks, went through all my training. Literally about to open, about to get promoted. I had this, they had the plaque made for me, everything. I spoke with the high-end guys and they were gonna get me an opening. We're actually gonna maybe purchase a building in Oshawa, and we were gonna run it out of there. And then all of a sudden, the red lights go on and the alarms are going off, and it's like a zombie apocalypse. I'm telling you, it was like one day everything was going red, go, 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 and then all of a sudden it was shut down. It was like guys with the hazmat suits are on, like out here spraying things, not actually, but that's what it felt like to everybody. And
I remember.
every business was closed. It didn't matter what it was. Our Rogers campaign got shut down. The only ones that were really open were like food and beverage and essential workers, right? But
Yes, I
so I
remember
actually
that.
opened a ghost kitchen during that time, which is another story for another time, maybe. But yeah, for me though, it was a time for me to take a step back and kind of work on my own business and structure, and that's when I launched my new business, which has been flourishing since then. And
Wow.
yeah,
So that was an opportunity as much as it was a challenge because it gave you the space actually to rethink your life and refine direction and do. And as I mentioned to you, that's exactly what happened to me because I had to go back to Turkey and I rented an apartment there on top place for 700 bucks a month. And I was
yeah.
living the life right in Beşiktaş, the center of the soccer world and hooligans and screams and all of it. It was a lot of fun, basically.
Yeah, and for
But
me,
it
I
gave
was
me the
flying
time
all
to
around
think about
Canada.
it.
I was flying all around Canada. I was launching my coaching program. I was helping entrepreneurs. I helped open 25 businesses during COVID, all brand new entrepreneurs, people that had lost their jobs, looked for new places. I was teaching them how to register a business and put themselves on payroll. I was teaching people how to make music videos for a living. And at the same time, I was flying around shooting music videos. I was out west. I was here. I was there. I was everywhere. And so I kept myself busy and I made sure that things were going. But at the same time, I actually purchased podcast equipment. I launched a podcast. I launched the Connect the Dot podcast because our Connect the Dot business got basically halted as well. We were about to do a Canadian tour. We had all the dates booked. We had everything booked, and we had to shut everything down. So there was a lot of uncertainty for a lot of different things that I was doing at the time, and I had to kind of pivot. Is what everybody had to do at that time, was pivot. And I think that's a really good way to explain it, because whether you were working here, you were working there, you got put on the bench. And some people were lucky enough to be able to work from home in their career and in their industry, and they get to keep going. And then after COVID was done, a lot of them actually got to still work from home, which was great. And then now people are
This
getting called
this
back
is
to the
a
office.
this is a very unique conversation, Dan, because you're talking about a lot of things that make a lot of sense to those who actually stayed active during COVID.
Correct.
But if you just stayed home behind the window looking out like you said, zombie land is happening out there, I remember walking down with my friend Dr. Allen, and we might watch this video actually, Eric Allen, and he says, look, the lady's watching us behind our curtains." We looked
Yeah.
around and we kind of like smiled, and she was like,
Yeah,
"What's the
people thought I
matter?"
was crazy, like in my family, friends, like just people in general that didn't know me, whatever. They thought I was crazy doing all the things I was doing, traveling here, traveling there. No, stay home, you're gonna get the virus, and all this kind of stuff. And for me, I was, something I said a lot of during COVID was that the hustlers prevailed. If you were a hustler, and a hustler meaning entrepreneur, go-getter, creating their own opportunities, creating their own money, creating their own profits, right? If that was you during COVID, you thrived. You Because everyone else was sitting. Like it was almost like there was no competition because everyone's sitting on their hands.
And let me
So, of
ask you something else, Dan. This
course,
is this
please.
is really coming to a great conversation about this COVID and the Canadian hustle. Basically, this is not an easy land, especially wintertime and all of these accidents on the road, people being distracted, media, social media. There's so much happening. But we all love Canada. We all want Canada, and we know Canada's the best country in the world.
I agree.
Yet there's opportunity that people don't know about it because the market maybe is polluted, maybe it's overloaded, maybe it's controlled, maybe it's so many other maybes.
Yeah, but life is what you make it, I feel. And a lot of people are lazy, and the
Mm.
systems are built for you to be lazy. The systems are built for you to take the easy route, and sometimes the easy route is the best route for a lot of people. But if you're like me and you're like other entrepreneurs, for some reason, I don't know what is wrong with us, but there's something about the risk and reward. There's something about the independence of being an entrepreneur and depending on yourself and not somebody else, right? And again, that's not for everybody. And it's not to say one is better than the other, right? Because as an entrepreneur, there's a lot of uncertainty in entrepreneurship because nothing is safe proof, nothing is guaranteed in life, right? The only thing that's
It's
guaranteed in
it's
life
a
is that we're all going to meet the creator one day, right? That's the
it's a
one thing.
carrot and stick basically situation, my friend.
I
They give
agree.
us enough to follow the path, but they don't want to give us enough to really have a good full stomach in carrots. So this is the story of the public, but you've taken a different road. I Congratulations, man.
No, I
You
appreciate
are
that.
a great Canadian entrepreneur, if you will. And you're just
Yeah.
getting started because we have programs that can help revolutionize. I just came back from a whole series of, let's say, Saudi, Dubai. That world has changed from 20 years ago, 30 years ago that I left. I was 19 when I got here.
Wow.
I left early, but I've been back so many times. The hub of business is shifting from America to the Middle East, particularly. There's only one problem in this whole globe, and that's as far as politics goes, the system in Iran, which is my home country, which have injuries of war. In the previous war, I was 10 years old, our house was bombed. The story
Wow.
goes on and on. Yeah, but here in Canada, there's so many people like me, like I don't know, even your ancestors came from another, but all of us come here and we become Canadians. That's what I love about it. It's not in America, it's not even in Sweden, it's not in Norway, it's not in Australia, it's only in Canada because we truly love this country and
Yeah.
we build trust in communities. You've been doing that, and standing on your own 2 feet to go and make money, it takes a lot of confidence. Where did you get that confidence? Who's
Yeah.
taught Dan how to be confident?
Well, like I said, I kind of had that entrepreneur mindset because of my family. Like
Oh yes,
my
family
grandfather came here
structure.
from Ireland. So he was an immigrant. He came here from Ireland, and my mom was also in Ireland. So like technically speaking, I could go get my European passport. Like that's how recent it was that my family came here, and they came
Wow,
here
wow.
as entrepreneurs. They had painting company. My uncle, he had his own bar. He had his own painting company, as I mentioned earlier, and he also had his own little flea market spot. So that entrepreneurship was in me. But again, my parents are the ones that really supported me, right? Without the support of your parents, like some parents are like, no, you have to go to university, no, you have to become a doctor, no, you have to become this, you have to become that, right? And that's fine. I don't look down on anybody that does that with their family, because you're just looking out for your family, you're trying to do what's best for your children. But at the same time, If you're not raised by entrepreneur minded people, it takes you a long time to get to that point of opening your mind to entrepreneurship, because you have to go through your schooling first, and then you have to go to a career maybe that is not in your heart really. It's something that you're doing to make sure that your family is supporting you, right? Whereas for me, my parents were like, hey, you want to do this? That's a great idea. Or maybe they might have critiqued something and maybe talked me out of certain things or whatever, but they didn't. They encouraged everything. They were behind me. They had my back. And I think because I had success at such a young age, like my businesses that I did, they weren't like, oh, I made a couple $100 here or there. I did very well as a young teenager. And I actually, it's funny because I had a subscription based model in my recording studio when I was 18 years old. People would pay me monthly to be able to come and record in my studio, and it was like $500 a month. It wasn't like, this wasn't cheap, right? And so I think knowing that you can put a nice price sticker on something. Like I have an offer, and again, I'm not selling anybody anything, but I have an offer that's a $1.2 million sale. I have an offer that's $100,000 sale. I have an offer that's $10,000. I have an offer that's $500. I have an offer that's $80, right? Now, my point of saying that is one, yes, sure, you have to cater to all crowds, but two is, don't put a ceiling over. Don't be afraid to ask for that big number, right? Because the big companies do it, and we'll go work for the big company to go sell their product, to go make a commission off of selling their product, right? So why not create your own offer that you can actually put a big ticket on it and actually make that money yourself? You got to know your worth, know your value. Don't be afraid. Like you say, you have to have some confidence, but you also have to be able to provide the right value for what you're offering, right? And
Wow.
that's the name of the game, is find that problem, offer the solution, put a price ticket on it, make sure you study the game and understand what those price tickets look like, and go after it and go help people, because people need help. You know what I mean? And we can all help people. I don't care if you've never done something before, it's your first time out, go research it, become an expert at something that people need help with.
I'm writing, my friend. I'm writing a lot of notes, Dan. This is amazing. Let me recap what Dan just said. I love these 30-minute interviews, and I think if you're home, you should put this on. You should watch this, Dan. You should take some notes like me. Look at what he said. People need help. Go find a problem. Let me tell you the biggest problem I found globally, Dan, and that's the money problem. Really, this thing makes a difference.
Yeah, I love what you're offering.
Let me just show you a quick thing here. Here I was in China. I had to change to yen. Here I was in what the hell is this? Dosos dineros. This I was in Mexico. This is this. I was in America. I need this. I come to Canada. I need this. Now I don't need any of them. I only need this. You can take out any currency anywhere around the world and make money. So there's so much opportunities, and we found solutions to these. And Dan's solutions is going to be one of our colleagues. I already decided. I decide on the spot when I know the person that I'm going to hire Dan to do my media, to help us grow the YouTube channel, to help you understand the opportunities at hand. And we're going to be partners. One time we were joking with Dan. I was overseas. I said, you're going to be my customer. He says, you're going to be my customer. I said, okay, deal. It's like a win-win situation. What is it?
And we were talking earlier, and what I was going to say this, but we ended up jumping onto this now. But like with what I'm doing too is, and again, this is not a sales pitch either, but it's the referral program that I have. And so just like what you're offering there, and what you're offering, just in case somebody's watching, again, I know you're not trying to sell it. I'm glad that you're talking about it though, and never be afraid to talk about what you're offering. You can even sell it, right? But at the same time, is what you're offering, like you just said, it's a solution to a problem, right? And not only are you offering a solution to a problem, but through you offering that solution to a problem, you're offering a revenue stream for people. So not only are you solving a problem that everybody has, that's a traveler, and most people are, right? But you're also opening a gateway, a laneway for people that are hustlers, that are maybe watching this, that like we spoke about earlier. Maybe this is going to spark something. Maybe this is that. Maybe you're looking for an opportunity, right? And with what you offer, not only are you offering that solution to a problem, but you're offering a money revenue stream. And that's the same with what we're doing. And that's where me and you align. And I think we align in many things, but this is also like, we chose to take on an offer that also includes on the back end where you can actually make money. It's a revenue stream. And that's what I love about what we do with our referral program is, you become a client, right? And now all of a sudden we have clients that make more money than what they pay us a month because of the referral program that we offer. So they might
What a
pay us.
beautiful thing that is.
Isn't
There's
that
so much to
insane?
talk about this. Dan, this is my second interview. You've been my second guest. The other one was aerospace scientist from Germany. Incredible talents. But here we're talking Canadian business. I just want to bring everybody's attention to one thing. By the way, I took some notes. My mentor Hugh Paul, whom I watched this, is an Irishman, and he made one of the first millions in 9 months of this company that we're introducing on the back end. Not here. We have 4 days, 4 times sessions. That's 12 noon Toronto time, 3 p.m. with Hugh Paul on weekly basis, Monday to Thursday, 7 p.m. for Canadians who work full time, 9 p.m. international people can join from anywhere in the world that they're awake. We're going to be holding the space. That is what really I want, Dan, on my side, because once we have that space, you can come and tell your story and the world is going to hear it, and you don't even have to be a customer. All you need to do is fill a seat, sit down, watch us do it, or ask us how to get involved, how to make money on. I want to refer my friends and my colleagues to Dan's studio. Why? Capture connections.
Yeah.
Why?
No, that's it.
Dot.
That's it.
Hey, I even try to start a dot back in the days. I gave the first presentation in the university here, was called DeVry, about GPS, this new satellite system that the government of US is using to track exactly where an enemy is. Guess what? Taran, where do we go
Now
again?
everyone has it in their pocket.
So how far have we come in the last 2 minutes, Dan? How far have we come in technology-wise, right in front of your eyes?
It's so true. We were, like I was saying earlier, it's like, I was a pioneer to the digital age. We came from the hard copy days where, you had to plug in things to make this happen, to make that happen. And now it just happens so fast. Like I was actually talking about my son in his math. He just did a math exam and I was helping him doing his studying, and I'm looking at all the math that they're teaching the kids and I'm saying, this is useless. And I don't say it to discourage or any of this kind of things, but this math is for somebody that maybe wants to become a scientist or maybe wants to take over, and that's fine. And there should be a time and place for that, but they need to be teaching the kids the common math that's very necessary in your day-to-day life. Because at the end of the day, we all have calculators in our pockets now, right? When these people made these curriculums, they didn't anticipate that we were going to have a calculator in our pocket everywhere we went. They thought that we were going to need to be able to use these solutions in order to, actually solve problems, but that's not the case. And,
let
right
me
now,
ask you this, Dan, you're just talking about that in our last 2 minutes, but when was the last time you used Pythagoras theorem?
Right. Never.
Exactly. When was the last time? I don't, there's so much junk they put in our head because they want to refine our personality to go in one direction or another, while they can just ask us a few questions. What do you love to do? I mean, if you could do it for love, that's your passion, that's your purpose.
They need more holistic ways of teaching for sure. But end of the day, man, what we were talking about here is, we've been through it all. We're now in the digital age and we're adapting. And I think even with what you're offering, with what I'm offering, this is us adapting, right? Like what you have there is something that was never thought of before. Like what they thought 20 years ago with what you're offering right now, this is almost terrorism. This is almost
2 years, my friend. People say, oh, when's the history of this company? Well, hold on. It's 2023 when the AI became available. Now it's robotics doing your trading, doing your exchanges globally, and you just take the money instead of sitting in the bank. Your money's making nothing in an RSP, whatever. You mount it into this robot, brings you monthly $1,000 a week.
And you're skipping so many steps that they had in place before. Like you had to jump through hoops to be able to do the things that one card can do. Do you know what I mean? And it's the
due
same
diligence. Those who do diligence make the money, Dan. This is really the era of due diligence. We want people to be educated. That's why we're opening up these gates, opening up the conversations. Any last words for the last minute? It's 29 right now. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, absolutely. To see the bigger picture, you got to have a dream. So you got to be a big dreamer. You got to think big, and then you got to reverse engineer that. You got to understand who has done it before you. Who has done it before you? Look at the pathway that they had to take, make your goals realistic, and go after them, and you can achieve anything. There's, we have AI now, right? AI has opened the doorway to endless possibilities. Understanding how to use AI is what people should be focused on right now. Use AI to help you learn how to use AI. Like that's
That's
how
so
crazy this
ironic you
is.
say this, Dan. You know what? People think AI is going on chat GPS telling them, oh, last night I had a dream. Like one of my sisters told me, oh, AI told me this. I said, that's not AI. That's researching everything about dreams and giving it to you in a synopsis of short in history. That's
That's right.
not AI. AI has to be trained. And the top AIs do incredible things like make you money.
That's correct. Use the AI again, though. Be a big dreamer. See the picture. Draw out your vision board. But to see the bigger picture, you've got to have the dream first. So dream, soul search, find out what that is, and then understand how to get to that end goal. And I think you'll surprise yourself, right? But I really appreciate you having me on this. And anytime you want to chat again, I'm always an open book. I always wanted to talk with you. I really appreciate you. I think you're one of the geniuses out here, and you're crossing a lot of boundaries, right? You're from Canada, you're going international, and I think a lot of people are afraid of certain things, and you are a very courageous person. You're not afraid to take on the call. You're not afraid to pick up the phone. You're not afraid to ask questions. You're not afraid of anything. And I think that is one of your superpowers. And I think that's what's going to make you, super successful. Not that, you already are, but it's going to make you super successful in the business you're in now and in entrepreneurship in general. And inshallah, it all happens for you.
Thank you, my Irish brother. I'm going to invite you to Hugh Paul's meeting. It's 3 p.m. on daily basis, Monday to Thursday. I don't know when's the next one, but I'm going to
That's
invite
okay.
you. I think you're going to like Hugh Paul. He's amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
He
I'll
just
come join
told
one for
me,
sure.
he says, this is what my mentor tells me. I don't know what you're still. This is Mr. Gilany. I say, yes, sir. He says, neither your rank nor your income matches your personality. And I was,
Mm.
what? He said, hold on. Let me repeat again. Why? Because you worked on yourself, my friend. He said, I was in a variety of other businesses. Nothing worked for me, but I was working on me.
Mm-hmm.
That's why in 8 months I blew up this to 1 million. Money is just a tool. It's not really the goal. I have my Camel products, which I love, which Dan is wearing right now, and he's loving it. Okay. That's my passion, that's my income, that's my factory. But here we are collaborating like two Canadians because we all come to this country. We have parents who teach us the ethics like Dan's did, and his grandparents, and he's so proud of talking about it. Why? Because it made him stand on his own feet since the age of 15. I know 30-year-old rich men who are living with their mamas in Canada can't have 2 minutes of conversation with a lady in out in the public or with a river. I mean, I'm just using that as an example
No,
there.
I agree though. I hear you.
So I appreciate your time, sir. I really, yes, we'll definitely connect. I'm just organizing these ideas, and I want to get you help with this social media connection. And we're gonna have live events, and we're gonna have team events, and we have a lot of plans that we're unfolding. But our next
Absolutely.
connection will be one of exchanges, if you will.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it. And thanks everybody for tuning in.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day. See you
You
soon.
too. Yes, sir.